Welcome everyone to WordStream's next live webinar designed specifically with agencies like you all in mind, the 7-step formula for agency growth. My name is Amanda and I'll be your co-host for today's session. For those of you who don't know, WordStream offers a software that can manage and optimize your clients' Google, Facebook, and Bing ads, all from one place. It allows you to prioritize and budget across your book of business and share success with your clients through customizable and white-labeled reports. Our newest addition, the new Business Center, lets you house prospects and pitch them with ease, but we'll touch back more on that later. Before we get into the content, I just wanted to run across some logistics quickly. This webinar is being recorded, so you can be sure to check your inbox and get that recording and the materials of the slide deck within the next 48 hours. And also, while we're here, we love to hear from you. So please submit your questions throughout the presentation, and I'll make sure that our presenter gets them at the end of the slideshow. So, without further ado, I'll pass things off to our presenter today, the mastermind behind this amazing content, Alan Finn.
Hi, everybody. As Amanda said, I am Alan. I am a senior product marketing specialist here at WordStream. Before that, I was an account manager on our managed services team. That's WordStream's in-house agency, and I worked on the content team as well. In addition to working at WordStream, I also do some agency work on the side, so I know a bit about where I'm coming from. A little more about me: I'm from New Hampshire and a huge Pats fan, so not particularly excited about the Jags game last week, but hopeful for this one. To kick things off, I'm going to dig into some of the results from our State of the Internet Marketing Agency report that we released earlier this year. In this report, based on the agencies that we spoke with, we identified that one of the biggest challenges that agencies face is getting new clients. And interestingly enough, many agencies cite referrals as the main source of acquiring new clients. So that means they're not getting the majority of their clients through prospecting, through inbound marketing, or running their own page search or social accounts. It's purely word of mouth from the people they already work with, and that's totally fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going to the well and asking for referrals. It's an excellent way to generate new business without spending money. But some wells are better than others, as you can see here, and that well can dry up. More than half of the agencies so they'd have to turn. And prospecting can be great. It can also be incredibly time-consuming. You might end up with a scattershot approach where you're sifting through prospects across myriad industries, and it's incredibly difficult to streamline the process, and then doubly difficult to manage when you have a portfolio consisting of large B2B SaaS clients and small e-commerce businesses and restaurants and everything in between. Some of the other problems with scattershot prospecting like this are, again, that different kinds of clients. So we see here, you might have a portfolio that consists of small brick and mortar operation, a few SaaS companies, an e-commerce outfit, a nonprofit, which presents its own set of issues, and a lead gen client. And for each one of those, strategies are going to look completely different. So some may operate with a search forward strategy, where others are more social centric. Others would like to focus on organic. Some generate the majority of their leads through paid. E-com and lead gen, obviously very different strategies. You're generating revenue directly through a site versus generating opportunity. Some businesses operate with funnels, others with flywheels. The more time you have to spend figuring out these strategies and which channels work for which specific clients, the less opportunities you have to acquire more clients and make more money. Basically what I'm saying is this method doesn't scale well. Another issue with scattershot prospecting like this is that, there's a reason that the phrase "a mile wide and an inch deep" has a negative connotation. Depth is key in this industry. there are so many digital marketing agencies out there, each of whom can offer a ton of different services and do them well. So differentiating is really difficult. And being the expert in a particular niche is one way to overcome that issue. Finally, pitching new business can be incredibly difficult for some. It's really complicated when you have to reinvent the wheel every week, month, or however often you're pitching new business, developing a pitch that works for a specific kind of client in a specific kind of industry. Streamlining this is essential to scaling your agency. So if you can do so with some tools that we might talk about a bit later, then you can make your life so much easier, and you can generate more revenue on a per client basis, and you can scale the number of clients that you're working with. What should you do instead? In a word, you should verticalize. You should pick an industry, whether that's LASIK or some other kind of cosmetic surgery, or plumbing or HVAC, or legal, or whatever you see fit after doing some research, and become the agency that can. The benefits of being reputation building: it's easier to become an expert in a catch-all field. You can offer more services because you can scale and you can duplicate across different clients. It's easier to come up with testimonials that are actually useful in your sales process, and there are fewer competitors. So in terms of scalability, as I mentioned, you can replicate strategies, and in some scenarios, you can replicate an entire account and just swap out brand names, geographic parameters, landing page URLs, and tweak your ad copy, and you have an account set up in an hour instead of a week. The amount of time savings there is enough to optimize your existing accounts and start pitching even more new prospective clients. In terms of being able to build a reputation quickly, it's really difficult to stand out when everybody is just offering as many different things as they can to as many different people as they can online. Being able to stand out, things I read about when I got into Rand Fishkin, the guy who founded Moz and now Spark Conferences, and all people using your agency is not where you have the ability to offer more services without spreading yourself thin, because you can replicate so much and just adapt a few degrees to the left or right given whatever subset of parameters need to change in the industry you're specializing in. You can sell more services to each one of your clients, increasing their lifetime value to you, and again, making it easier to ramp up new opportunities. Testimonials become more applicable to your business. Some businesses, some agencies, and businesses in general, they tend to underestimate the value that case studies and client testimonials can have in the sales process. They're super valuable, and a one-size-fits-all solution isn't going to be possible when you pitch 15 different clients in 15 different industries. But if you specialize in a single field, one piece of collateral can be the difference between a sale and losing out. Finally, there are going to be fewer competitors. If you search digital marketing agency near me, you're going to see a bunch of paid ads and then a bunch of organic rankings for digital marketing agencies. Append an industry, LASIK marketing agency, and there are 2. And then a few that are clearly not specialized. If I own a LASIK practice, I'm probably going to pick one of the ads that identifies itself as a LASIK marketing expert with 18 years of proven experience over B2B marketing for IT or zero gravity marketing digital marketing agency. No offense to either of those, but they're clearly less aligned with the intent of the search. So what I'm saying probably makes sense to you, but how do you go about putting all of this into practice? Step 1 is to conduct initial research. So you can use benchmark data like the benchmarks that we provide. So we have Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Bing Ads data, and then we actually have an entire package of verticalized data that you can check out on our site. And this will show you cost per click, cost per acquisition, click-through rate for a bunch of different industries. Now, digging through this, you might be able to identify specific areas where clicks are incredibly expensive. If clicks are incredibly expensive, the potential clients in that space probably have really high budgets, and they probably have somebody else managing them. Whether or not that person works in-house or is a generalized agency, you don't know yet, but I'd be willing to bet that if you can prove success in a vertical, somebody who operates in one of those spaces is going to want to listen to you because you can translate that success to their business. Similarly, you could use tools like Google Trends and other keyword research tools to see if people are actually looking for agencies or marketing tips within a specific industry. So if we look at this, we have spa marketing, legal marketing, hotel marketing, plumber marketing, and e-commerce marketing. And we're definitely not going to roll with plumber marketing as our choice vertical here. Obviously, the volume is much lower than the others, but some of the others seem ripe for the picking. And if we dig into them a little bit more, we can see that when you search salon marketing, there's a pretty tailored ad, so that's a potential competitor. There's a more broad ad, and then there are content ideas for how to generate leads for salons. If you throw that same keyword, salon marketing, into the keyword planner within Google Ads, you'll see what our search volume looks like there. Obviously, there are not a ton of searches, but there are definitely some, and the competition is not high at all. We also have pretty low cost per click, so if you wanted to run paid ads for your own salon marketing agency, you could do so much more affordably than you would for a general digital marketing agency. Finally, at this point, you could start thinking about how the other services you offer, whether that's web dev or SEO, content, social, email marketing, what have you, how you could fold those into an offering in one of these specific verticals. Basically, what I'm saying here is that there's opportunity in every direction. You just kind of have to go look for it. So, in keeping with that, now that we've settled on, say, salon and spa marketing as the vertical that we would like to specialize in, we need to do a little bit more research to determine how viable that's going to be. Now, some really basic Googling yielded this information. There are 56,386 nail salons in the United States. There are 21,770 spas. That's 78,156 prospective clients in this country alone. And a little bit more research yielded that the average annual value of a customer in a salon or spa is about $450. You have to assume that most of them are doing pretty all right based on those numbers. Certainly, they're doing well enough to afford the services of a specialized agency. Next, you're going to want to learn the idiosyncrasies of the niche that you're targeting. So what are some of the common issues that you might be able to solve that businesses in this space tend to struggle with? The obvious one here is getting more clients, but there could be other issues that people run into. Reading content, checking out the blogs of salon or spa owners is one way that you can build empathy with your potential clients and identify the problems that they face. So after doing some research, we can determine that cost per click for search for this niche is about $1.45. Cost per click on display, 43 cents. Click-through rate for search, 3.5%, not too shabby. Click-through rate for display, 0.67%. Decent conversion rate on search. And a pretty high CPA on search and display. Basically, this tells me that there's opportunity. That's great. And now what you're going to want to do, knowing that there's opportunity, is to develop a strategy that works, and more importantly, from your perspective, a strategy that scales. The first step in doing so is determining what conversions look like in the space and how much they're worth. So we're gonna reverse engineer our strategy here starting with conversions and then working backwards. So again, using spas and salons as our example, the different kinds of conversion we can assume are phone call bookings, online bookings, group bookings, and then maybe there's an e-commerce opportunity where they sell gift cards or they sell adjacent products. Think about which of those is going to be most valuable and how you can segment potential audiences to focus on these different conversion types. For example, maybe you're not going to focus on large groups unless it's for people who are recently married or about to get married or graduating soon, and you think maybe there's opportunity for a party to go into a salon or something to that effect. These are things that you would only really be thinking about if you're specializing in a given niche. At the top of the funnel, you're going to want to use the display network for these salon and spa clients to tighten in on geographic areas and then focus on people in those areas around your clients' stores with in-market and affinity audiences. In parallel with that, you're going to want to use something like Facebook and Instagram to generate brand awareness and reach. Obviously, this is a place where controlling like gender might be really valuable, or adjusting age parameters might be really valuable, particularly if you're testing different audiences or ad sets against one another. And again, starting really broad here and then narrowing down as we get further down the funnel. In the middle of your funnel, this is where we're going to want to engage in hopes of eventually earning a sale. This is a place where messenger ads could be really powerful if we're trying to facilitate appointments. We can use lead ads to push prospects into a nurture funnel, and then we can nurture with email. So there's an upsell, cross-sell opportunity there. And this is also a place where we can start focus on high intent keywords like book an appointment now versus what is a spa. Finally, the way you make money here is pretty simple, since the majority of our opportunity is going to come from what is ostensibly lead generation in the form of booking appointments. We're going to focus on conversions as our goal in Facebook or Instagram. We're going to want to remarket our highest intent remarketing audiences, and we're going to want to pay a premium on the search network for transactional queries. This is also a place where call-only ads are going to be super valuable for people looking to make last-minute appointments, and where we could build out a more sophisticated remarketing funnel if need be. As you probably know, none of these are particularly complex strategies, and that's on purpose. I'm showing you that you can have success in an industry without overcomplicating things. Not every client is a SaaS company spending millions of dollars every month on digital marketing. There's no need to develop a complex lead scoring system for a salon. You can use principal strategies and find success and duplicate them across a whole bunch of salon clients and grow your book of business more effectively. The next thing we're going to talk about is prospecting. And, well, that's a lie, actually. I'm not going to talk about it very much at all because you know how to do this. If you're here, you already have an agency. You know how to find clients. I'm talking to you about how you can find different clients and scale quicker. But that being said, when you're focusing on specific niches, don't be afraid to walk into the front door of a salon or a spa and have a conversation with its owner, or pick up a phone book and give people a call, or even try direct mail. As you verticalize and you become more known in the space that you are verticalizing, that clout definitely carries weight, and walking into somebody's business and saying, "Hi, I am expert in field. Would you like to learn more about how I can help your business?" is no longer a "what are you doing, get out of here" proposition. So you've prospected after deciding which vertical you'd like to specialize in. Now you're going to want to think about how you can audit prospective clients' accounts and you can pitch them more effectively. And this is where I'm going to shamelessly pitch our new business center that Amanda talked about earlier. If pitching new business at scale is something that you struggle with, it's a super useful tool that gives you access to WordStream Advisor trial accounts, prospect tracking and management system, white labeled versions of our Google Ads Performance Grader, our Facebook Ads Performance Grader, and recurring success reports that are completely customizable and white labeled. Basically, it just allows you to dump in your prospects, analyze their accounts really quickly, and then put together a proposal, a compelling proposal using industry data to hopefully win their business, which means you can sell more of these spa and salon clients and scale effectively. Next, you're going to want to figure out how best to highlight and leverage the success that you have. So you verticalized, you found prospects, you've pitched them, you've won, you've managed their accounts for a time. Now you're ready to find more. I touched on this earlier, but I'm going to mention it again because it's worth repeating. Invest in a great case study or multiple case studies that talk through how your services exist within the context of the vertical that you're specializing in. You see this case study buddy logo here in one of the screenshots from its sales page. I'm in no way affiliated with Case Study Buddy, but I saw their founder Joel talk at MozCon a few years ago, and he's answered multiple questions about how to price freelance copywriting gigs for me on Twitter, and got nothing out of it. And he's a super great dude, and his service is fantastic. I have a few friends who run agencies that have used it, mostly for B2B services, but being able to generate a piece of proof that you can share with prospects is incredibly powerful, and I wouldn't underestimate its value. To further affirm. And next, you're just going to want to get out there. Like, don't rely on just the internet. I know I mentioned going door to door to salons and spas to drum up business. A way that you can do that en masse is to find potential speaking engagements. And marketing conferences, as most of you probably know, are super saturated with speakers who have similar ideas. But if you are going to a verticalized conference, Spas of America, Salon and Spa Professional Association, the Salon Owners Summit, or Data Driven Salon Summit, for example, you can take the information that you have, the skills that you might think are kind of mundane and boring, not even the stuff that gets you out of bed in the morning, and that could blow somebody's mind if they are completely unfamiliar with the techniques that you use. So it's a great way to look like an expert because you are an expert, and it's a great way to build the brand of your agency. And as you can see, there are a ton of different kinds of speaking opportunities, whether that's being a keynote speaker, being a panelist, or running a breakout session where you're going to teach more tactical, tangible skills to these small business owners that you specialize in helping. Finally, we're going to want to grow forth and conquer. So what does that mean? That means scaling accounts through duplication. It's really easy to copy and paste campaigns between accounts using AdWords Editor, Google Ads Editor, and same goes for lists across your Facebook accounts. And maybe most importantly, from a scalability perspective here, since creative can take up so much of your time, you can use or a specific display, and it opens the doors to the kinds of strategies you can propose to your clients tenfold. And this means that you can pursue opportunities all over the place, leveraging similar strategies without poaching from speed. But by simply changing the geos, changing the brand names, adjusting some of the demographic target you're representing, you can too much stress. So in closing, to conduct research, and then you need to go deep on that research once you've identified a vertical that you think is a good fit. You need to develop a strategy, a cross-platform strategy that scales, that you can duplicate and mimic across a whole bunch of different clients within that same vertical. You need to prospect with a purpose. You need to audit and pitch prospective client accounts effectively. You need to figure out how best to highlight and share your success through case studies or presenting at conferences. And you need to grow. And that's the crux of this entire strategy is growth. If you have a growth mindset, verticalization is a great way to skip some steps and acquire clients at scale.
All right, thank you so much, Alan. That was awesome. That was tons of content, tons of great strategy. And again, this was recorded, so you guys will be able to get those slides into your inbox within the next 48 hours. Before we jump into some questions that we had come through, we did want to offer you guys up a special offer to all of those online with us today. As you know and just heard, prospecting new clients is a job in and of itself on top of everything else you guys are already doing. And you guys only have so much time in the day. So we're offering everyone on the line a consultation with one of our experts here at WordStream to review the new business center with your own personal prospects and see what else WordStream has to offer. Plus, we're running a promotion right now for anyone who purchases WordStream this month. They will get the new business center included at no extra cost. A free prospecting tool. You don't want to miss it. So reach out to us. Now let's dive into some questions. Alan, you mentioned at one point briefly those pay-per-call ads, and someone is pretty new to PPC and running an AdWords account for their client, and they're wondering if pay-per-call ads should be specific for urgent-based products or services. Do you need to have a website? Are they for phones only, mobile only? What do you think about that?
So call-only ads, they can be pretty expensive. They're only going to show in the first couple positions on mobile devices, and I wouldn't say that they're necessarily limited to businesses where urgency is key. The classic example of using a call-only ad is like a locksmith. You're not going to look for a locksmith on your phone at a desktop. You're doing it because you're locked out of somewhere and you need a locksmith now. That being said, if a phone call represents value to your client and you can segment out high value keywords and use call only ads for those situations, it's totally worthwhile.
Awesome, thank you. So we did talk about a little bit in terms of verticalizing. It's all about geo so that you're not putting clients against each other. Do you have any other frame of reference for maybe like how far apart they should be or like anything like that?
I would say that's probably more of an ethical issue. If you feel as though you're poaching from one client to help another, then you're only hurting yourself, because if there's a super limited pool of leads or potential customers to go around, and it's not split evenly, or you're robbing one to funnel more leads to another, it's going to catch up with you eventually. Client A is going to drop you if client B is getting more leads. So use your discretion in doing your research. Figure out what saturation looks like in the areas in which you operate. And if you think that you've maxed out your geo, then start looking outside of that. But definitely start with places closer to you, because it's much easier when you can specialize and interact with people in person, face to face.
Great. And in speaking of that, what verticals do you typically see agencies specializing in?
Well, in terms of clients that we have here, we see a lot of agencies that specialize in legal, so marketing, law firms, and then a lot of cosmetic practices, so LASIK, high-end dentistry, plastic surgery, And again, those are spaces with incredibly high cost per click, so it makes a lot of sense that there are agencies that operate in those verticals. And I chose kind of a more obscure example for this deck because it just goes to show that you can make any vertical profitable. You just need to take the time to learn it.
Great, and that's about all the time we have for questions today. And again, just to reiterate, you'll have this recording and the slide deck to your inbox within the next 48 hours. We hope everyone enjoyed the content today, and we hope to see you on our next webinar. Thank you.